Okay, I accidentally clicked the wrong intro, but we're just gonna let it roll. So that is
Okay.
our throwback legacy intro that
Yeah,
we
okay.
still use. Yeah,
From time to
that
time.
we still use on politics as usual on Fridays. But anyway, this
I
is
mean, it's
on
on
last
there
week's
now.
episode. Yeah, this is on last week's episode, and we are here to cover episode 8 of 10. Lasso entitled D. What's the title of it?
Man City.
Yes, yes. So Um,
City.
so yes, Richmond FC is matching up against Man City in the FA Cup semifinals at Wembley Stadium, and a
City.
lot of a lot of things happen in this episode, but we'll get into it. But the general impressions about this episode.
Oh my gosh. It was almost everything you needed. You had your highs, your lows, your sadness, your gladness. It was beautiful. And it was like that once again, I usually say like it seems kind of melancholy, but this one was just legit sad. Like it was really some sad occurrences throughout the whole thing. And it worked still because it was a still that wholesomeness that we're used to. It's just showing you that sometimes life does give you things that you have to deal with. Life isn't always just breezy, and it works well because we've been saying it about Ted anyway. That his life, it's almost like he feels like life can only be good if good things are continually happening. But in actuality, life is what it is, and sometimes it sucks.
Yeah, that so a lot happened with this episode, but overall, I'm I'm glad that they took things here. Like I said on the previous recap, it seems like they've been giving you like little chunks, and it's been leading up to this moment. There are a lot of things that are like starting to unravel or are starting to happen. So, and all of that was earned. Like none of that came out of left field. There wasn't a single moment where I was like, that didn't really
Hmm.
work. Like all of this was earned. It was set up in earlier episodes, even going back to like the first season. So yeah, this episode is pretty great, and this is one of those award darling episodes. Like unintentionally, it's not like they even went for it, but it's just so good that yeah, there's going to be recognition from this episode. Great performances, great story. So yeah, I like really good episode. If you can't tell already.
I agree with you. Jam, like amazing performances from every single person that
Hmm.
was there. Every last one, nothing was wasted. And I mean, even the small um the small words that Higgins gave Jamie while he was
Hmm.
in the closet, like even that small little stuff, all of it matters and all of it was done very, very, very well. Even Phoebe, like it was just a really good job. Everybody did a great job.
Hmm.
Very, very good. Very good. 10 out of
But
10 would recommend.
so yo, D, I want to know where you thought, excuse me, this was going. We opened with Dr. Sharon and she was riding her bike, and in Dr. Sharon fashion, because we've gotten to know her a little bit, she's telling people like, "Hey, mind your dog. Like that
Mhm.
sweater is ugly and your dog hates it." And she's like not as focused riding her bike, and boom, accident happens. And then we see the phone ringing. Did you did you think that was it for Dr. Sharon?
I did for a second. I thought they're
Yeah.
either like she's either dead or she's gonna be like something like in a coma, or it's gonna be so bad that she has to go away. Like she can't come back to Ted because she's in so much pain. I was really hoping they didn't kill her though. Like I was like, the
Yeah.
show doesn't kill people. Please don't kill her. But I did. I thought it was definitely gonna be way worse than what it was.
Right. I immediately thought like, oh damn, Ted isn't going to be able to resolve his own trauma now because
I
he
mean, she
he
got hit
just
by
he
a
just
car
opened
on
up
a
and she got hit.
bicycle.
Yes.
So yeah. Ah, that would have been tragic.
That would have been too much. So I'm glad
Mhm.
that they decided to go with this. Yes.
Like big time. Could you just imagine like they had to do a Ted Lasso what if Dr. Sharon died when she got hit by the truck? What if Rupert gained control of the team? And what if Ted didn't win the darts match? Oh my gosh, it would be a totally different show and I'd hate it.
Totally different show. But yeah, it worked well here. But so Ted goes to the hospital and he basically has to take Dr. Sharon home because, of course, she's concussed and can't drive. And also, another thing I wanted to ask you, in I guess in the spirit of shipping people, are we like
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying, are we picking up on something?
Don't say it.
Like, I'm just saying.
Don't say it, because hell yes. Don't say it. I'm like, am I just shipping everybody? And I think I am. Like, they could probably put Keely and Beard together, and I'd be like, totally, it works. It makes so much sense. At this point, I'm shipping everybody. But yes, especially with recent developments,
Yeah.
I was totally like, yeah. But the only problem I see with it is I have a friend that's a psychologist, and there are strict rules
Oh yeah.
with patients. So I think from what she told me, if you date a patient, you have to wait, I think, like 7 years before you can date them. And then
Mhm.
you still have to do like a whole lot of stuff. And I think you can't dump the patient because you wanted to start a relationship and get that 7 years start. Like, it's a whole lot of stuff that they would have to do for that to work.
Yeah. So
And it's kind of weird because she's a
yeah,
therapist.
I was about to say, let's put this out here. So of course you have the whole, patient confidentiality thing. Like anything you say, I guess this is supposed to be like an impartial, non-judgmental space. So on aside from just a professional level of like just dating someone who you are providing therapy for, on a personal level, it's also kind of like, but
It's kind of
but
warmish.
we do see something interesting about Dr. Sharon, that she has to seek therapy to talk about her therapy sessions with Ted Lasso. Well, attempt at therapy sessions, which we see her like closed off. She's drinking a lot. That was very interesting because when we see her, she's typically like very professional and composed, but we kind of see now, like behind the scenes, that she and Ted are kind of one and the same, just different tactics, but they do a lot of the same things.
I love it. It humanized her a little bit for
Hmm.
me, because she, at this point, was just a very down to business. This is my job. I am great at it. It's what I do. And that's kind of all she was. But this is showing that there's still a person in there, not
Hmm.
just this doctor or this remedy for everybody's ills. She's still sharing outside of everything else. So I thought that was very nice that they put it in there, especially with her drinking, because of course people always think, okay, she's drinking a lot, something must be wrong. I mean, she could have just wanted to have a good time and
Yeah.
just drink it. But I still like to see it. I liked seeing her get annoyed with the people while she was riding her bike, mind your dog and all this stuff, because she was right, you should mind your dog.
Yeah.
But and then the panic, and then of course when she finally admitted that she was afraid, it was just really, really nice to see that not only did it happen for her, but it was Ted that brought it out, because he does that. that's,
Hmm.
that's what he does. You know what, that could also be a reason why she had to do the therapy for him, because she may have felt herself getting too close, or
Hmm.
she didn't want to get too close. You know what I mean? Because you have to remain impartial, I'm sure, as a therapist. And if this is your friend, you may not be able to see things from a, I guess, scientific standpoint, because therapy is a science, right? I would say it's a science. No?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to see it from that point of view, but I'm sure that's difficult if this person is close to you. So I don't know if she had to talk to her therapist through that, because honestly, I don't see how she was going to get through to Ted if she wasn't kind of friendly with him, because he already made it clear, you don't care about me. And I think she had to show him that she does for him to open up
Mhm.
at all. I'm sure it's a slippery slope there.
Yeah, yeah, and to circle back to the shipping thing, I ultimately think that's what will happen. Like they will probably have like a mutually beneficial like friendship, like
Hmm.
that's just solely a friendship. Like, oh, like through helping you, you helped me type thing. So I don't think they're going to be shipped. But I'm not gonna lie, when they were in the hospital and they were like, "Oh, that he's not my husband. He's not my husband. There's no ring here." I was like, "What are
Yeah.
y'all doing?"
What a
But no,
coincidence.
I think that's what it'll end up being.
But we've been conditioned to do that with shows anyway. If any show that has a male and female lead, we've been conditioned to know, okay, by the end of the series, they're together. That's why we automatically put Ted and Rebecca together.
Yeah,
immediately. When she came
yeah.
to the show, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's gonna be the couple by the end. And it looks like maybe not.
So speaking of, I will just clear the paint for this and let you take over.
Thank you. I have very strong feelings about this, okay? All right. I am a firm believer in there is an issue with those huge age gaps, right? And if Sam were older and the age gap was there, I don't think I would mind. But when he said 21, I almost passed out because I was like, no, Rebecca. No, Rebecca, no. And I could feel her, she even tried
Mhm.
a little bit. She tried to like say, no, you're too young. I've groomed you. And I'm like, okay, this was cool for them to show us that that wasn't the case. She wasn't grooming him. She wasn't taking advantage of him. She truly fell in love with well, I say fell in love. I'm using that loosely. She fell in love with the character she saw behind Banter. But what we've been saying the whole time is that there is still a person. And just because you feel a way about a person in and it's strong and he is legal, I get it. It's still kind of icky to me. It was beautiful. They were great together. I liked it, but it's still just
Yeah, that's
I don't like it. I don't like it.
yeah. Cause didn't she say she would be? How old did she say she? How
She's
much older?
old as hell.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know how old she is, but she's pretty old. She's too old for,
yeah.
I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to offend anybody. She's
she's not
very
too old for the
mature.
earth. She's not too old for the earth. Let's get
Just for
that out
this
there.
club.
Yeah, just for this club.
Just for Sam. You know what I'm saying? You should know better. You old as hell and you pregnant. But she should know better. And again, Sam is adorable. He is charming. He's very sweet. He has that kind of demeanor where you want to be around him because he just radiates positivity and joy, from his smile to just his overall demeanor, right? With that said, I have been saying from the beginning that she has this love for him that feels kind of maternal. Like she wants to take care of him. She wants to make sure he's okay. She wants to groom him and not in a sexual way, but groom him to be a great man because she can and she's so much older and has so much more experience. So this is I don't like it. As beautiful
Yeah.
as it is, because it is beautiful, there still has to be a point where we're like, I feel like a hypocrite if I was like, oh, well, this is different. Because is it really?
Also, just FYI, you know how you go to Google search something and the top search that predicts is what people have been searching. So I typed in Rebecca Ted Lasso, and then what is her age? It's it's the top.
Everybody
By the way,
wants to know.
we aren't talking about like Hannah
No, no, no,
Waddingham.
no, no.
We're talking about Rebecca Wilson, the character.
The
But yeah,
character, not
it's
the actress. Finally,
yes,
because I don't
but
even know how old is the actor that Sam is playing in actuality. How old is he? I don't
I
even
feel
know
like
that.
yeah, I feel like he might be like mid 20s.
Okay, so he's not much
Like
older than 21,
he's
huh?
definitely yeah, he's definitely not 21, but he's like
Okay.
mid 20s probably. Yeah.
Okay. Because she even said, what do you like? What she say, 24? He's like, I'm
I'm
21.
20, 21.
21? 21? But okay.
21. And what's so wild is that when he realized that it was her, like I thought maybe he would like be like bashful and back off, but nah,
Man.
he was
Hey,
shooting his shot.
let me tell you about Sam Obasanya. Okay. That sweetness that turned to debonair suave swag very quickly. Like when it was time to turn it on, he did. And that bashfulness went on out the window. It was like, hey, this is sweet, you know, Sam in the streets. There's a whole, it's a
Yeah,
whole different Sam.
he had enough gear apparently.
You know
I
what I'm
didn't
saying?
yeah.
There's a passion that I'm trying to show you in these sheets though. And what more could you ask for? Get you a Sam Obasanya, just an older one, much
Just an
older.
older one. Yeah, like one that's at
I
least 7 years within your age,
I
maybe.
don't like it. I I like it because I've seen the relationship. It was beautiful. But as soon as he said 21, I was like, no. I
Mm-mm,
can't, I can't, I
mm-mm.
can't sign off on it. It's just it creeps me out, man. I remember
Like
21
like
vividly.
Trent Krim is going to flip out when he might take up the whole paper right in this story.
Speaking of, I was telling Jonathan your theory about the paparazzi, and we were
Uh-huh.
waiting on it the whole time. We were like, "Oh God, who's gonna see them?"
Uh-huh.
Because when they started kissing at her house, I was like, "Close the door, close the
Yeah.
door," and I just knew somebody was gonna get a picture, which could still very well happen.
It could still be possible because yeah, I mean that like I said, with everything that happened this season, and like I said, her refusal to sell him, it's gonna get out. It's going to get out.
It
And
has
when
to,
and when
right?
it gets out,
It's gonna be a mess. Okay, okay. With that said, what does her what does her reputation change to? Like, what does the respect level for her in the locker room change?
yeah,
Kind of, kind of has to,
it
right?
has
Like,
to.
there's gonna be one that says, oh, if I had known, somebody's gonna try Sam, and it might cause him some itch. If I had known Boss Lady was going, I'd have tried her however many years ago. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be something like that. And I hope it doesn't, but it's locker room talk. So
Yeah.
I don't see I don't see how it's gonna work because she gave all the reasons. I'm your boss. You're too young. I'm too. Oh, I don't know if she ever said I'm too old, but she's like, I'm too. I'm your boss. You're too young, and those two things right there are enough.
Mhm.
Sharon would be like, no, this is no.
Yeah, because yeah, it's certainly an interesting take on like something that we see like with the roles reversed. So now that yeah, it's no, 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 absolutely not. Just no. Just no.
See, a certain rapper's wife and a singer that was sick, and everybody was like, "Oh well, it was just an entanglement." But no, no, it's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the same
yeah,
thing, and it's different with the entanglement because he was sick, and she took care of him. But the dynamic on this one, I think she just got. It's. I'm sorry that it can't work out because y'all are looking for love and whatever else. I just don't like it. And I don't have to like it, obviously, but I don't. If I were Sam's mom, I'd be like,
Ooh, I just thought about that too. Like,
no,
when,
ma'am. Be
when
like,
his
Stella, why you can't get somebody your own age?
when
That's
his
exactly how
pops
I'd be.
finds out, when his father finds out, he's gonna be like,
I
Sam, quit the team and come home. He's gonna say it like it's a youth team, like quit the team and come home.
just come back to the house. We got everything. Look,
Just
you got the oil stuff. All of that is done. What was it? What was the air? Dubai was
Dubai
it
Air.
Dubai Air?
Yeah,
Dubai
Dubai Air.
Air. Everybody's taking care of it. You did what you were supposed to do. Come on home. You don't have to play for her no more. Oh, what if he gets traded or something? Do soccer teams get traded? Oh, like Jamie,
They
get
get
traded.
they get sold.
Is she gonna sell him?
I mean, can she? I mean, she can. Like, so let me take that back. She can, but at this point,
It's a whole. Everything about it is a mess, right? If she sells him, that's an issue because it's gonna look like discrimination or sexual harassment or whatever else. If she does it, it's favoritism. If they keep seeing each other, it's favoritism. Whatever, all these things she did anyway because she respected it and loved it and thought it was a good idea. All of that is going to turn into she did that because it's Sam and she has feelings for him. It's just gonna be a mess.
yeah.
The
But you
good
know
thing
what?
about the show though, they have a way of just kind of writing stuff off
Right.
and it's just like, okay, it's over, it's done, let's move on. So maybe they'll do that.
Nah, nah, nah,
Oh,
nah. Not this easy. But you know what though? You know the one good thing?
what's that?
Great haircut. Great
Great.
haircut.
It was magnificent. Now, that had to be like and a slight shout out to all of the people who have been talking about this for ages, how there are not no black, the black people on sets
Uh-huh.
don't get good haircuts. A
Mhm.
Train, we're talking to you.
Oh,
But that's
yeah.
got to be like a little part of because they made such a big deal about it, which was hilarious,
It
by the way.
was
It
hilarious.
was a
Yeah.
whole ceremony about the haircut, and they kept bringing it up. Like the pundit said something about it. Rebecca mentioned it. Like it was just a thing and it was beautiful. I'm like, this is nice because it's such a subtle joke online. Well, it's not even a joke because it's a big deal. Like these people should be able to have their haircut on set. But not only did he have his haircut, it was awesome. It was
Yeah,
magnificent. It was like the best haircut ever. So it was
great,
great.
great haircut set.
Great haircut. Great haircut. You only get one a year. So you know it had to be great.
But D, let's now move on to um okay, so
So nervous.
I'm glad that this show it's a feel good show, but it's not at all a fairy tale. Because I'm actually relieved that they got their ass kicked by City because that's the more interesting story.
Right. Like ass kicked is correct. They got trashed. It's like they weren't even out there. It was
Yeah.
it was hard to watch. Cause I'm still waiting, like, oh, okay, it's just three at the half. It's gonna be it's gonna be fine. It was not fine. It
Mm-mm.
was not fine at all. Oh, did you know what happened with the call? Because I thought the thing that you mentioned last time was gonna happen because Nathan wanted to do one thing, and I think he was maybe talking to Beard about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Ted was like, no, 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 no. And then he kind of stepped in and made a decision. I thought that was gonna be the blow up that you've been mentioning. That Nate
Yeah,
was just gonna lose his shit.
and I still think it's coming because this is the first time that Ted has like truly noticed Nate going wild because and by the way, like Mike Dean is a real ref and he's notorious for being like the ref that you do not play with. Like he like people wake up every morning and they be like, man, Mike Dean is refereeing this match. It's a ref for my team. But no, so Mike Dean is the ref you can't mess with. So Ted noticed Nate going off and he kind of looked up and he's like, yeah, you can't do that. So this is I think he's now noticing it. So next time Nate does that, it's going to be interesting to see what the reaction is.
And it took him so long. I guess because he was in his own stuff. But that goes to show Sharon's doing well.
Yeah.
I just started. Just made me think about all the confessions they made before the match. Of all the things Beard could have done, how dare he start drinking tea?
Yeah, and it's funny because Roy is like, yeah, which match was this? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, you weren't as smooth as you thought. You definitely were on something. Yeah, but it was that. Yeah, the match, like you said, it is once again one of those things where it's just like just because you want something to happen, the work and the skill and all of that has to be there. And I'm assuming Cite is just great. Are they great?
Let's relax now. Let's relax. Like they're not great.
I'm sorry. I know these
They
aren't your
were
people.
they were purchased by an oil tycoon and money was pumped into the club and now they might be good. They're okay.
They might be.
They are all right.
Now, is this coming from Runny or is this coming from soccer statistics? I need you to step outside and tell me the truth.
I mean, they are okay.
Okay, would this be like me saying Bama is okay?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got you. They are. I mean, they won a
they
few
are
shits, whatever, but they're just
Yeah.
okay.
They're just
You know,
okay.
they still lose every now and then. Gosh, they're not great.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're not great.
so Jamie's dad though is. I'm just assuming he's just a fan. He's a city. He's a city fan. Anyway, like just period outside of Jamie, or is he
Right.
is he a fan because of Jamie?
I feel like he would most definitely be a City fan because as obnoxious as
Seems like
he
it runs
is,
deep. Yeah.
he would be a City fan. Yes.
Okay. I I love Auburn with everything that's in me, all that's in me. But if my child went to a rival school and I went to specifically see my child play my school,
Would you wear their gear?
I don't think I wouldn't if I wore one of my children's jerseys, it would be their jersey.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put their name on my jersey. Like I wouldn't, you know what I mean? And I'm sure he was wearing an old jersey from one of James' old jerseys, right? Because
he that's the Manchester City jersey he was wearing.
Yeah, if my kid transfers, I wouldn't wear his old jersey. out of spite. I would wear either nothing. I would wear a shirt from my team for me to represent my team, or I would wear something of his. I wouldn't do both because that's whack. Because
Yeah, that's why.
it's whack. And you're there to support your child, right? Above all, I would think. And then if your team happens to win, that's great. Like either way, I win. But you support your child, right? I don't
Allegedly,
know. I
but
don't know. Maybe
not Mr. Tart.
maybe I'm just not that into it as I thought. Like back in the day, I was like, no matter what, I don't care if I have kids. I am over until I die. And if they decide to go to another school, then I'm gonna cheer for my school and he's gonna have to get over it. Okay, sure. But if it comes down to it, I'm always for my child. Always. Right? No?
Right.
And
No,
then
no,
not only do
I'm
you
with you.
do that, you have not it's just not just you. It's you and two of your friends that come with tickets that you got for them
Hmm.
and disrespect you in this way. Because they went out there and showed
Oh yeah,
like
they was acting up.
they were acting a fool. With that said, do you want to get into the dad stuff or do you want to just talk about
That's
football a bit more?
No, that's actually what I was gonna go to next. So you brought up something interesting about how the show reflects on like father son relationships a lot. Which ones in particular have you picked up on?
All right. The one I wanted to bring that I think is the most interesting to me is Sam and Nathan. Because to me, their personalities are the more alike because they're both kind of passive and sweet. Although I've realized Sam made that passive, but we'll get back to it. But they're more of I say pacifist. I won't say passive because they're just non-confrontational. They just kind
Mm,
of chill. They are now Nathan is passive, or he was. And I thought about that because it's like there are two different dads with that. Because Sam's dad is loving, he's kind, he's supportive of his child, and Nathan's dad is the opposite. Nathan can't do anything right, like nothing. Nathan can't do anything that impresses his dad, and it kind of shows that once they got some notoriety or respect, how they changed based off that because once Sam got into the limelight, he didn't make it about himself at all. He immediately went from what he was like, he was like, this isn't even about football. This is about Nigeria. He didn't take any of that at all. Nathan did the opposite. Nathan was like, it's me. I'm the wonder kid. Like that's the first thing he did.
mhm.
Gave himself a moniker and wanted to be known and recognized. And he's going through Twitter every day and he's trying to see who's liking, who's following. And it's just a part of me that's like, Sam doesn't need that validation from everybody else because he gets it from his dad, probably his
Mhm.
mom too. And Nathan needs it so badly because he doesn't get it from his dad. No matter what he does, he never gets it. So he's just looking for an attaboy from somebody, anybody, and anybody that doesn't get to him, that vengeance comes back and it's just
Mhm.
misdirected because he's thinking about his dad. So I thought that was very interesting and it was great to show the extremes of how you can be, one thing or another. And Jamie's dad is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
dick though. Like I can't really say how. Well, yes, I can because we saw him like abusing him
Mhm.
the first game. I mean, the first season, even after he won. So
For
his
making
dad's
an
pretty
assist.
shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad's pretty terrible, but I still don't know. I guess you really can't say who's worse, right? What kind of dad is worse? It's the worst kind
No, you can.
because it depends on who you are. Like Jamie would probably did he be
Well, no,
like Nathan? You can't say, yeah.
because to me, Nathan's dad is like a no nonsense dad. Like, true enough, he is a given, like
Yeah.
Nathan, the love he needs. But Jamie's dad is like, I'll only acknowledge you if you're doing these great things. Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
nothing to me.
That's it. Like that is it. Yeah. I feel like Jamie's dad would like leave him in the gutter.
Mhm.
Would leave him there. And I'm not sure Nathan's dad wouldn't do the same, but at least Nathan's got his mom.
Yeah, Nathan's dad would probably be like, "Get up, you idiot. Let's go home."
Yeah, get up,
But
let's go.
yeah,
Like, but he'd say something, and it's just it just really shows you how much, I guess, like people always say, nature versus nurture or whatever, how much you need to be nurtured. Because like I said, like Rebecca, she chose Rupert. And I say chose because if you marry somebody, you choose them. You know, y'all choose
Mhm.
each other. She chose Rupert, and he's a shitty husband, just like her dad is. Now I don't know how Rebecca's dad treats her. I just know he's a bad husband based off
Mhm.
what Rebecca was saying. And you know, she'll take him back. He'll go buy her something fancy. She'll take him back, and that's what happened. And I'm pretty sure Rupert did the same thing. Like when they got
Mhm.
divorced, I can almost guarantee this isn't the first scandal that Rebecca has been involved in. It's just, did he leave her?
So she so when it is my understanding that once the story hit the tabloids about the new girlfriend, and he was like very public with her, like she was just like, okay, like I have to leave because that's how she got the team in a divorce settlement.
So she, but I'm saying she didn't like make a conscious decision to leave Rupert because she had enough. She left him because she was embarrassed.
Yeah, I think it was more so because she was embarrassed and yeah.
So she's kind of like she picked her dad, kind of, and then we'll get to Ted because I'm not ready yet. And I think that's everybody. We got Sam. Oh, Phoebe.
Yeah.
So she's just kind of like Jamie's shadow. And I was wondering why they had her around so much because I was like, don't she have parents? And that's nothing against it. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm like, you can't be around your uncle, but she's around a lot. So I
Mhm.
figured it was more than she just likes him. It was either her mom needs help or she just don't like being home or whatever else. And now we see that her dad is either absent or just awful or both.
Yeah, Roy says that he's awful, but he's alive and awful.
Yeah, so I don't know if she sees him or whatever, but it is what it is. But she has pretty much taken to Roy because that presence is missing, and
Mhm.
that's what she's latched on to. And it was really beautiful of Roy to say, we spend a lot of time together, but I feel like you're getting the worst parts of me.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, dang, man, that sucks. Because it's acknowledging the fact that there are bad parts of you, right? Like, I'm not
All right.
perfect by any means, but the little good I do have, you're not even latching on to that. You're latching on the parts that I have to have because I'm a footballer. They expect me to do these things, not you. Like you can't do what I do.
But Roy does have some good in him because this is to me this is the best moment of the TV show and yeah, possibly just the TV show because like I said, this has been they've been setting this up for a while and it pays off. So yeah,
What
Jamie's
happened,
really
Ronnie?
yeah, Jamie's, he punched his asshole father and his father's carried out the locker room by Coach Beard, and he's just standing there shaking. And Roy just like no hesitation just rushes in and just hugs Jamie, and then Jamie is like kind of shocked at first, but then he like embraces Roy as well, and that was just so it goes to show you that Roy hated Jamie, or in his words, he thinks Jamie's a twat because he he really does see the potential in Jamie. I think he understands something about Jamie. So that moment was, yeah, that moment was really great.
Roy, and just to drive the point home, Roy said at one point, "I hope he dies of the incurable disease of being a bitch." Like, you really have no respect for somebody. Not to not only say it, but this was like a national TV show. Well, like this is a very popular show, and he's like, "I hope he dies of the incurable." And I almost passed out from laughing because it was hilarious, but like you're saying, it goes to show that it's not a just a deep seated hate for Jamie. It's his personality, it's his character, it's his lack of whatever Jamie thinks he should have, humility
Mhm,
or whatever else. And I can't even say humility because he thinks that's good at a certain point. I
mhm,
think it's just the arrogance. That's
mhm.
what it is. But to see him not even think about any of that, like not even say, well, I don't like him. I don't really care what happens to him. it shows you that he, like you said, really deep down, he does care for this man. And even if he didn't in that moment, he did.
Mhm.
Because everybody in the locker room was stunned. I don't think anybody knew what to do. I didn't know what to do because I'm like, do you say something? Do you just kind of let him air it out? Because the whole time he was, with his dad, I was when he punched him, I was like, he deserved it. Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you, Jamie. And I was glad he hit him. I was hoping he hit
he
him
had
again.
to. Yeah, he had to.
But where do they go from here? What happens next?
You mean Jamie and his dad, or Jamie and
Uh-huh.
Roy?
Jamie and his dad. I think Jamie and Roy will
Oh,
be
they
fine. They'll probably
yeah,
go back to what they
yeah,
were
yeah,
before.
probably go back. Yeah, honestly, yeah. But no, I think Jamie is because yeah, like there's no reconciliation there. So I think Jamie is going to be like, you know what, I stood up to my dad. Like this is good for me, and but that's it. Like I still love him obviously, but I don't. He doesn't have to be in my life.
And you don't. Like, we have a lot of respect for our parents because they gave us the world, they brought us here, and that's fine. But there has to be a point in your life where you say, if this person didn't give me life, would I be friends with them? And if the
Right.
answer is no, then don't be friends with them. Respect them and love them or whatever else you decide. But it's okay to remove people that are hurting you from your life. And Jamie needed to do that because his dad is awful. Like, he's really awful. And he struggled with it the whole time. It's not like he just decided, okay, this is the last straw. He struggled the whole episode. And
Mm.
I think hearing Sam talk to his dad, he's like, oh, wait, so dads do this. This is something that dads can do. You can turn out to be an upstanding individual and a winner if your dad's not a jackass. So I didn't have to have that to be where I am, but it is what I had. So that plus his talk to Leslie about, because Leslie even told him, like, my dad's kind of a dad, but, I kind of take him for what he is. I think still that was a part of him saying, okay, but you never said your dad was awful,
Mhm.
right? Like, because your dad is your dad. He's your father. And there are times you're going to just be like, dude, leave me alone. Like, stop. But when they love you. I don't even know if Jamie knows if his dad loves him or not. I don't even know
No.
if he loves him or not. So he snapped and he should have, and he was comforted. But what's like, does he need, if that's gonna be a void, does he need it filled, or is he okay? Like, he don't
And
need therapy, of course. Of course he needs
and
therapy.
and this the seed is already planted because that's the primary reason why Ted brought Jamie back to the team.
Does Ted have the capacity to do it?
Does Ted need to do that?
No.
Because
No.
I all right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and transition to my next point, which
Okay.
is we finally start to see Beard being fed up with Ted's coaching approach because Ted is all right. Coaches should care about the well being of their players, but your primary job is winning games. And he's all like hunky dory, like excited after they just lost this huge match. And Beard is just like, dude, like we just got our ass kicked. I'm gonna go walk this off. I don't even want to like think about it right now. Like Beard was like visibly fed up.
Hmm.
So how and maybe that will come with Dr. Sharon, but how can Ted like merge like that part of himself that cares about his players with just being a coach that cares about results as well, because both can be true. Like it's to me it's coach speak to say like I don't care about wins and losses. Of course you do, because you wouldn't have a job, but you should also care about the well-being of your players. So yes, like results are important, but not at the expense of your players and vice versa.
Can he though? Can Ted be that coach? He can't be Roy.
That's what I'm saying. Like oh no, he can't be Roy, but can he be I guess like Roy and Beard, like the middle between them, because Beard I obviously wants the results. Beard wants to win, which like I said, he's a coach, so is that the worst thing? And
Okay, I'm asking you this, asking can he be, because I think the thing that frustrates me about Ted still doesn't know the rules. And that's
No,
unacceptable.
it is.
Like it really is. At this point, it's unacceptable. The least you can do is learn how the game is played. Now, yes, you are making a difference and you're doing some things right. You have to be because y'all are winning games. But there's no reason whatsoever you shouldn't be able to coach the team without Beard or Nathan or Roy. I feel like
Yeah,
Roy would be fully capable to coach that team without everybody else.
and I guess
Nathan
that's what
would
I'm
be
getting
fully
at.
capable.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I think we're outliving the whole like charming
Hmm.
coach from America who, you know, wills the team to win but doesn't know shit about football because now like teams like you're not catching teams off guard anymore and you have to win.
And
And
I
you
think
kind of not doing the other part anymore either. You're kind of not
catch them
really
off guard.
motivating the team. No, you're kind of not motivating the
Oh,
team
okay.
now anymore either. So
So again, is this how we phase head out?
it'll be interesting to see.
Because he can't. They can. At this point, plus, like we've said before, the theme is fathers and sons, and there's almost a point where I feel like Ted is thinking that he is choosing to be away from his son. Because
Mhm.
honestly, he is, and I know it's his job, but he took a job in London. And I don't know if he thought that his family would move there after a while and then a divorce happened and just threw the whole thing off. But he chose to go to London, not only away from his child, but with his marriage doing whatever it was doing. I don't
Yeah,
know how much money
I
she
think
offered
he
him, but
I think he says the line like we decided that we needed space, so I gave her like X amount of miles of
oh,
space. Like, yeah. So
okay. So you thought it would help. Okay. But with that, I guess we can go ahead and get into what I said. Go back and listen to the Lavender episode, people. It's my victory lap.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we made some guesses about Ted's father because not everybody, but if people tell you somebody passed away, sometimes they'll tell you, like they'll say, "Oh, my such and such died. She had cancer. My such and such died. They had a car accident or something along the lines." And he never said what happened. And then the line that stuck out the most was like, what was it, running? He said his dad was harder on himself
Hmm.
than everybody else.
Right.
That he took a moment of reflection after saying it, and it made me think, wait a minute, that seems kind of eerie. So my thoughts were his dad was either murdered, died tragically, or committed suicide. And now we find out that it actually is the latter. The sucky part about that is that he was like, that happened to me and my mom, which is true because it's
Mhm.
not just him. His mother had to go through it too. And I'm wondering if his dad did therapy too, and it just didn't stop him, which is another reason why he could hate therapy.
Yeah. I mean, that's certainly something to think about because yeah, I mean that would probably make you think therapy is ineffective. Yeah.
Right? Because he mentioned doing the therapy with his wife, but did he do any therapy after his dad died? Do you remember if he mentioned it? I
No,
don't know if he
he
did
didn't
or
mention
not.
that.
If he didn't, he should have. Like you go through something
Mhm.
that traumatic, especially at 16, you need to talk to somebody about it. And the fact that he said it happened to me and my mom kind of makes me think he maybe did. Because not saying that you can't come to that realization on your own, but sometimes you need to hear that this thing happened to you, and it's okay to not just let it say, "Oh, my dad died, and this is sadness, and it's just this thing my dad went through, and he was sick and whatever else." Sometimes it takes somebody to say, "Hey, something traumatic happened to you too. Like this thing happened to you." So it makes me think he did go through something or talk to somebody. Maybe he was just a smart 16-year-old, or he's just learned it over time. I don't know, but I'm thinking that they're gonna kind of phase him out and just send him back home to be with his child at the end of it.
I mean,
Maybe
we still got a whole another season left though.
they do. I mean, would he stay, just live in London forever? Would he?
I don't know. I don't know. Like there has to be some type of resolution to like all of these different parts. Like there has to be the Beard and Ted resolution, the Nate and Ted resolution. Like basically and also like there has to be just uh a push, like an inner push for him to take this job more seriously and not allow it to be just a detour in his life. So if you're gonna be here, then be here. Like it's unacceptable for you to say, "Oh, I didn't realize he was offsides," but then the American coach that came over with you, who knows nothing about soccer, be like, "Oh yeah, he was passively offsides because he didn't have the ball yet," and yeah,
See, that's exactly what I mean. There's no excuse for that. There's not. That is your job. What are you doing if not learning the rules? What are you doing? Coming up with motivational speeches and
yeah,
believe signs and strategies for marketing, drinking beers. Like while you're at the pub drinking a beer, you need to be looking at the rule book
yeah.
and figuring out how to play the game because it should be that important to you. It should. It should matter. Those
It
types
should
of things
matter.
should matter because if you have an argument about what a ref has done, what leg do you have to stand on to go and say anything? You don't even know the rules.
All right.
I don't know. Now, the biggest thing that I want to ask you
Mm.
again, Sam and Rebecca, what what is going to happen? Like,
Because
I think I'm kind of over Sam and I'm sorry, Rebecca and Ted. And I'm not saying it still can't happen, but I've been kind of thinking that they were like showing us that that's not what they were doing for a while now.
like like a red herring almost.
Yeah, but even in the end, could that even work now?
I still think is on the table. I
Okay.
there's no way Sam and Rebecca go on. Like there's just no way. It's going to create some type of controversy, some type of something. There's no way they could go on because not only did they go on a date, they knocked boots now. So there's
They did
no
the thing. They did the
so
thing.
they really crossed that line to where we're like yeah, we're in controversy territory. Like
We
there's
are
no
in
turning back now.
controversy. Yes, but the only thing I think they could possibly even a little bit try to justify it is the fact that Rupert married a much younger woman, and they can flip it and be like, "Why the double standard?" That's the only thing I see they could do. I still don't like it because I don't like Rupert and Bex either.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Bex
I was
was
about to say.
older than Sam.
Yeah, I was about to say, but he doesn't own a team that Young Bex is on either. So
Yeah. I'm just saying that's the only thing I can see that could possibly do it. Or Keely does some kind of weird marketing and flip it on his head. But
mm-mm, mm-mm.
I'm very interested to see if they're going to tell anybody. But they may not tell anybody at all.
She's gonna tell Keely. I think
I
Keely will
think
know.
so too. But if she tells Keely, is Keely gonna tell Roy or she's just gonna keep it to herself? I think
Nah, I
she's fully
think
capable of doing that, by the way. I don't
yeah.
think she would just run and tell Roy everything.
Mhm.
But it seems like a lot to hold. And I don't know. I want to go on record saying I don't like it at
Yeah, I
all.
don't. Yeah,
So yeah. All right. Well, so Sharon and Ted though, before we go, are they gonna just like you said, just be pals? And if so, how's therapy gonna work if they're buddies? Because she's telling
maybe.
him stuff too. Can you be friends with
See,
your therapist?
you kind of mentioned something a while back that I think, and I kind of mentioned it too. So their therapy might be better in the form of a friendship
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because I think it'll be mutually beneficial for them to explore these things and talk about these things in the zone of friendship rather than her try to pull it out of Ted and it gets nowhere and they waste like 35 minutes out of the 50 of him just looking at the little thing on her desk. So it might be that might be like a better as a friendship, so we'll see.
With that said, is she considered a legit therapist in the doctor realm for them? Like, I'm talking about like the relationship part. Is this, are their sessions legitimate therapy sessions,
Oh
or
yeah,
is
yeah,
she
yeah.
a person? Okay, so she's not just like a person that's there who's a therapist who is offering help to the team. She's there as a doctor.
Right.
Okay, because I was gonna say, because if that's the case, then she's not really his therapist, and then they could still. But no, they can't. This is just me shipping them again.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, no,
but no.
no.
Maybe Ted's just gonna go back home, and he's not gonna be with
Yeah.
anybody, and he'd be fine with that because he doesn't need to be with anybody. Not right now,
No.
at least. He's still calling his ex-wife his wife. He definitely doesn't
Right.
need to be with anybody else.
No.
Not now. Now, again, next year, maybe something else will happen. Who knows? That could happen in a
Yeah.
year.
That can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, in closing, I want to cover one thing. So of course, everyone knows by now I hate Manchester City, but hold on.
Sit
But
tag.
unfortunately, one of my favorite bands of all time, Oasis, they are Manchester City fans, but they created this great song, "Don't Look Back in Anger." That's the song that was playing when Beard was walking away from Ted.
Mhm.
And that's also, unfortunately, the song that Manchester City fans sing at songs. But whatever. But anyway, shout out to Oasis. What's the Story, More Than Glory? Great song. It's unfortunate that they're City fans, but
They were
everyone has
into
their
it
flaws.
too.
Everyone has
Like
their flaws.
they were really into that song too. Like eyes closed, swaying.
Yeah.
It was,
Nah.
it was. They really enjoyed it. So yeah. Well, good for you. You're able to push past it and still celebrate Oasis.
Yeah.
Good for you. You didn't let your petty win.
It's tough. It's tough.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I know the feeling. I do. 100%. I know the feeling. But I think if I had to rate the episode, and I'm not exaggerating, 10 out of 10.
Right.
I mean it. 10 out of 10. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was excellent. And they haven't, so far, the writers have done just enough to give us reason to believe that everything is happening is something that could happen. Right? No matter how outrageous it is, like Sam and Rebecca. If they had put them together any other way, it wouldn't even it wouldn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
But at least this, even though I'm 100% against it, there's still a part of me that's like, I get it. Like, I see, whatever. Okay. But, thankfully they made him 21. It makes me feel a little bit better. But I still don't like it.
Yeah.
That's it. Hoping Phoebe stops swearing.
Hopefully she does. Hopefully she does. I think she will, and we'll see. But yeah, that's it for this episode. We have 2 more episodes left. Also, we are picking up Why the Last Man. So be on the lookout for those. 3 episodes drop. Ooh, 3 episodes drop tomorrow.
Tomorrow on Monday.
So yeah, we're gonna try to bring you a Why the Last Man recap by the end of this week. So stay tuned for that.
We're gonna do it. We're doing it.
We're gonna do it. We are devoted to it. We're dedicated to it. So yeah, until next time. Peace.